All right, we have another panel discussion coming up right now. It's called Leading in Troubled Times and Finding the Path Forward. And it is powered by our friends at Yigal Arnon and Company Law Firm. So I want you all, if you're at home, please give it up. A warm welcome to our moderators. First up, he's the guy who makes this whole operation run, Oren Simanian, the founder of Colosseum Sport. Joining him as moderator will be Ronit Amir Yaniv, partner at Yigal Arnon and Company. So we have both Oren and Ronit as our moderators, and joining them for this incredible panel discussion will be Mauricio Sulaimán, the president at World Boxing Council. So give it up for Mauricio. We also are joined by Hannah Gordon, who is the chief administrative officer and general counsel of the NFL's San Francisco 49ers, who I believe today. So that's pretty exciting as well. So we appreciate Hannah being here. We're also joined by Ricardo Trade. He's the board president at Arena Hub, and he was the CEO at the 2014 FIFA World Cup and CEO of 2016 Rio. We appreciate Ricardo being here. And Yael Arad, amazing resume. Olympic silver medal winner at the Barcelona Games back in 1992. Also business development and marketing concept expert and member at the IOC committees in marketing, digital, and technology. So an absolutely astounding, incredible panel. And we'll give it up to our moderators to lead the way.
Amazing. Thank you, Josh. Okay, so great to be here. Ronit, open your mic. Great to have you all here. Mauricio from Mexico, Hannah, you're in the US, Ricardo in Brazil, and Yael, we are close, home sweet home, Israel. So thank you all for joining the first session at STN Sports Tech Nation 2020. It's incredible that we are all here, and at the same time quite weird. Everyone is at home with the situation. Let's try to lead in troubled times to find a path forward. And happy to have with me a sports tech lover, Ronit Amir, sport partner at Yigal Arnon law firm. Many of the sports tech companies that we see in Israel actually got support from her when they started and they grew up. So she will co-moderate this panel with me. And before we start, I would like to present two of our panel members, and Ronit will follow with it too. Mauricio Sulaimán, I had the chance to meet in Mexico. He's a good friend, and what can I say? The president of the World Boxing Council. February 12, 2014, he was selected as the president of the World Boxing Council. During his time, he led the organization. Mauricio has worked guided at the multi-set values and principles that his father taught him. In more than 38 years, he had the World Boxing Council, which his father, when I'm thinking about him, I know how he's prestigious to you guys, Mauricio and Fernando, your brother that listens to us, I know that. His spirit and his stories goes all the way with the World Boxing Council. Through his presidency, Mauricio has created and shaped various initiatives such as an amateur and professional tournament, active participation in social reintegration programs, promotion of women boxing with the organization of the 3 conventions, monitoring of the Jose Sulaimán Fund helping boxers in a need, creation of special belts, and supporting inclusion and so on. With us also Hannah Gordon, based in the US. Hi Hannah, how are you?
Good.
Great to have you with us. She is the CAO, Chief Administrative Officer and General Counsel of the San Francisco 49ers. The first thing I've learned before going to the US and talking about sports is saying 49ers, 76ers, and all those things that in Israel are quite hilarious. And what's the 49ers? Okay, so Hannah Gordon is entering her 10th season with the 49ers. What an extremely hilarious season. Yeah, 10th season in this crazy year. And she's, what can I say? She is leading the public affairs, strategic communication, risk management, community relation, fan engagement, the 49ers Museum and the 49ers Foundation, including its award-winning direct programs, 49ers Education, which excites youth about STEAM. We all know what STEAM, through football. Football, not soccer, guys, yeah? And the 49ers Prep, which promotes wellness for youth. I will jump on asking different questions to you guys, panelists, and I will lead the torture to my friend Ronit to present Yael and Ricardo.
Good evening to you all. Well,
It's a pleasure to introduce Ricardo Trade. Ricardo is currently the board president of Arena Hub, the largest sport and social impact innovation center in Latin America. Ricardo has a vast experience in sports. I must say, I've never seen such an impressive list in all kinds of sports. He started his career as a handball player. Then he was managing director position in Pan American Games in 2007 and managing director position in Brazilian Volleyball Confederation. He was also part of the board of directors of Rio 2016 Olympic Committee and the CEO operation manager of Brazilian World Cup in 2014. And after joining CBV, he was invited to CBF, the Confederação Brasileira Football. I hope I pronounce it correctly. And he was invited to be the operations manager of the Under-17 Cup and took the leadership of the Brazilian to the host country of the 2023 Women Football World. Well, it's really very impressive. Thank you for being with us, Ricardo. Yael Arad, whom I personally adore since I was a kid. She's absolutely my, of course, Yael, you hear it all the time. Well, Yael was born in Tel Aviv, and she's a sports marketing expert with a vast experience in business. As a Israeli judoka, she was the first one Israeli to win an Olympic medal, the silver medal, in Barcelona, and widely recognized as one of the most important and leading successful athletes in Israel, and bringing the judo into the athletics and into the recognition of all Israelis. And I really must tell you, Yael, you become the absolutely the symbol for every athlete and for every, especially women athlete, about how to do it right. So thank you for being with us. I want to start, please, with the first question to Yael. I know, Yael, you probably hear it a lot, but it's I'm very curious to hear your answer this time. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when people are asking you what it needs to be the next Yael Arad in Israel or around the world? How can we become a Yael Arad successful?
So first of all, good evening, everyone, and Ronit, thank you for the warm words. Really appreciate it. So, I think that to become the best in the world, it doesn't matter if you come from United States or Russia, which has the culture and a lot of experience, or you come from actually a small country like Israel. But eventually, the first thing you need is to dream to become the best in the world. I think athletes and startup persons are quite the same, because you need to be really entrepreneur. You need to dare to dream, to look at the sky and to believe that it's possible. And it's not easy when you come from small countries. So after having said that, I think that we need talented people. You have to find your talent. It's not enough to go to the sport that you like, but you need to find your talent. You need to be a hard worker with a self-discipline. And maybe the most important thing is to have the mental resilience. And we see now in the COVID-19 period, all this 2020, that if I think athletes, they are used to this roller coaster of life, to be on top and then to be down with disappointment. But this time with COVID-19, where we found ourselves, athletes that almost got there to Tokyo, and then all of a sudden everything was broken. You see that here you need the mental resilience, and this holds for you also when you come to the big events, to the this given day in your life where you have to be the best, and not only physically or technically, but also mentally. And of course, we need to have a supportive environment. Without coaches, good coaches, without supportive
Absolutely.
it's impossible to go through this long way with a lot of disappointment and failures. You have to go through walls and to beat not only your competitors but also many other issues. So you need here to be strong, and you need a supportive environment and a lot of patience.
Thank you, Yael. So jumping to Mauricio, with that said, we have two very strong ladies in the world sport. We have Hannah with us, we have Yael with us, and that's great. Mauricio, so you took the longest flight from Mexico to Israel virtually, or maybe the Ricardo can compete you on that. But first of all, how are you?
Fine, fine. Good morning from Mexico. I am truly honored to be part of this panel and very excited about the sports tech and to see you from all over the world. And first, I would like to express my deepest condolences to anyone who has lost a dear one, a family member in these difficult times. But through sports, it's a very important way that we can go and move forward and keep our mental health positive.
That's great. So what do we actually see on your back? Tell us a little bit about this nice nice thing over there. Maybe I'll pick a one when I'll come back to Mexico. No?
Yes, but you have to fight against me to win.
Forget about it. Forget about it. So tell me, how is the world of boxing is actually dealing with this COVID? Tell me, how was your last year?
Well, it has been a very complicated time for humanity. Every aspect of economy has suffered. In boxing, of course, the gymnasiums have been closed for so many months. There was no activity in any sport for 3 or 4 months, but our industry kept very busy. We developed a medical and administrative protocol to have boxing events without public. We went out and did many activations with social responsibility in mind to keep people the message to stay home, to stay fit, to exercise, and also to be completely aware of the domestic violence awareness. So the boxing industry kept very much in communications and trying to look on when it would be possible to have activity. And very fortunately, there is boxing in most of the countries right now, most of them without public, but there are some fights being held with fans. I just came back from Dallas. 19,000 fans went to the Dallas Cowboys Stadium to watch a fight, and it was very well organized with many strict protocols. And I believe that sports is coming back with a much safe structure, but in very complicated times.
That's great to hear about that, and I think that we need to take this model, analyze them, and see how we can actually get back to the, in a safe way, back all the fans together. We are sure, and we actually see that technology actually helps to connect in between fans and their teams and their brands, and I'm sure that that's something that also the 49ers and Hannah are leading. Just to ask you a quick question, I read your bio, and it looks like you support a lot women in boxing, and that will lead me also to a question that Ronit will refer to Hannah. So tell us a little bit about promoting and encouraging women boxing.
Well, we believe in the power of women. Boxing, women fighters have shown great success. Why? Because they prepare, they're ready. They are so tough when that bell sounds. They give great action-packed fights. And also, we have been supporting and integrating women as referees, administrators in the sport. We have in our board several women who are very successful, and they drive with great initiatives, great idea, and absolute. The WBC is completely pro-woman, and we're very proud of them.
Amazing. I can tell you that after 20 years as a soccer referee, it's quite in a right comparison to being a boxer, when the punches that you get from the players. So Ronit, I'm sharing with you back the torch to lead it to Hannah and Ricardo.
Absolutely. Hannah, I would like to ask you several questions that actually are maybe the same one. If you have to summarize this season, last season. How do you summarize it in the matters of course, COVID-19, the fact that the audience was sometimes and it was impossible for the audience to, for your fans to share, to be part of the occasions. How do you, did you use any tech help, tech adaptation in sports, in your sports, to try to help you to deal with the effects of the COVID-19? And is the fact that you are part of something which is really very, very supported by fans' involvement, by fan engagement, do you feel it really changed your season? And what do you, how do you anticipate it's going to be in the next season?
Sure. Well, first, like Mauricio, I want to extend my condolences to all the people who have lost loved ones during this pandemic. I think that this time has really put everything in perspective for all of us in sports, both that we're not the center of the universe, but at the same time that we have a really valuable role to play in lifting people's spirits and entertaining them when they're home and encouraging them to stay home, to mask up, to be socially distant. And for us, that's played out in a lot of ways. First, I think in some ways we take for granted a little bit that one of the key pieces of technology is something that's quite old, which is television. Our games are televised. Our viewership is higher than ever. I think one of the things that we've seen worldwide during this pandemic is that people are consuming a huge amount of content from their homes because they're not going out. That said, I also think this time has made us incredibly grateful for some of the things that we have temporarily lost. And one of those is the energy of people together, right? So for us, we don't have fans at our games this season thus far. And our players and coaches really do miss that. The energy of human beings together is something that's really special and something that's really unique to sport. There's just not a lot of places where we have that anymore, right? We don't have kind of that town hall or gathering. I mean, this is even named after Colosseum Sports, right? Historically, through human history, we've gathered in places like Colosseums.
True.
Because human
Absolutely.
beings want to be together. So I think that's been a challenge. And then, of course, there have been tons of ways that technology have helped us with our protocols during this time. For example, in the NFL, not only do you have to get tested every single day, which involves a laboratory that is not only taking test swabs, but then flying them somewhere, testing them, getting you results within 24 hours, but also our players, coaches, people who we have together occasionally, though they're trying to be socially distant, have to wear all day a device that is tracking them, essentially a GPS device, so that we know if two people have been within 6 feet of each other for any period of time. We know how long that is, and the devices will even start beeping if you've been within 6 feet of someone for 10 minutes. So those are just a couple of ways that technology has helped us keep everyone safe this season. But yeah, it's been certainly a challenging and complex season, but I think that all of us also see the light at the end of the tunnel now with some really positive news about vaccines. And so we know that sport is coming back. Sport has been a part of human life for as long as there's been humans on Earth, right? We have a natural tendency to compete, to play games, to want to be together, and that will come back.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Hannah, can you, we say Hannah in Hebrew. I'm sorry that it doesn't sound like Hannah, but can you give us something spicy that's going on in the 49ers, something for the media, something for the news? Can we get something out of it?
Well, I do
How
have
do you
something
feel
spicy,
is,
but it's more for Mauricio, which is that boxing is actually one of my favorite workouts. And so perhaps that will be my next career move.
Amazing. Okay, so I think, Ronit, if there is someone that can actually reflect and share with us, in a big perspective of as well the Olympics and the World Cup. Ricardo, Ronit, and I, we have a question for you that we really want to see and hear how things are running there. So, Ronit, please.
Yeah, I'm very curious to know, how do you prepare yourself and your sportsmen towards the games in Tokyo next year? And taking into consideration the concerns that the COVID-19 virus would prevent those games as well, or prevent audience from taking part? And should the organizers of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar also be worried? Maybe even the organizers of the Euro soccer games in 2021?
Yeah, thanks for good afternoon to everybody here.
Bom dia.
Bom dia from Brazil. Yeah, we are here. It's a pleasure to be here to sharing with you, such an important people, this kind of panel. It's important to us to be here as Arena Hubby. I'm participating here as Arena Hubby. To be honest with you, I understand that Tokyo 2020 will prepare very well. The IOC is zealous, no problem at all, and will help organize to play safe games. That's my opinion. And I was not president of Rio 2016 during the games here. At this occasion, I was the CEO of the Brazilian Volleyball Federation, and we won 3 Olympic medals at this occasion. But I am now president of Rio 2016 Dissolution Committee. We are preparing to resolve all the issues that we have and to be so nice, because the games were nice here. I think, who knows, until 2000, the games, then we may have the vaccines already effective, and we can see not only the athletes, but the spectators vaccinated and thus being able to fill the arenas again. That's my opinion. I think it's possible. One example is that London is starting, England is starting to vaccine today. That's one idea that it's happening now. I have an incredible affection for Japan, because it was my learning base when I worked in volleyball. They will make incredible games. That's my opinion. They are very zealous and they will be prepared for this. And also IOC will help them. They are prepared to do this. They are very zealous also. I see all the things with optimism. Also the World Cup in Qatar. I went there 7 times in 2015, working as a consultant for them, for the World Cup 2022. It will be nice. In 8 kilometers, we could have all the stadiums, and then maybe we could have watch 2 matches a day as a spectator, or maybe 3. It's possible. I think it's possible. But of course, I don't know if you have until this occasion, the vaccine is effective. And then I think it will be nice. Also, FIFA also is very careful with this. FIFA is zealous also. They are taking care of the World Cup there, and it will be so nice. That's my opinion. It will be a place environment. Of course, if we have no vaccine, I think we will have no spectators. Maybe some bubbles, as the NBA did. We are having all the matches here in football here in Brazil. We are playing without spectators, and we are having no problems at all, of course. But I think at this occasion, 2021, the Olympic Games, and also Qatar and UEFA, we'll have the vaccine and we'll have the spectators. I'm very optimistic, I'm saying.
Thank you very much, Ricardo. This is significant. Ronit, did you want to add something?
Just want to add from personal point of view that I belong to those who bought tickets for 15 games in the Euro, and I'm still hoping they're going to allow at least part of the fans to take part in watching the games. Otherwise, of course, there is no reason to use my tickets and just go to be around in the cities. I guess this is the problem of many people around the world that want to.
That's true.
FIFA.
Just to connect the dot, I don't know if you see, but that's the view of Tel Aviv, which is our actually host city, virtual host city at this time. And many people ask me, okay, Roy, cocktail, what is a cocktail? This is virtual. Where is my drink? And actually, I get a WhatsApp now from Yossi from Pixelo, the automated TV production. We have several companies doing automated TV production in Israel, one of the leading countries with amazing solution around it. Pixelo, Playside, both of them are partners of the event. And Yossi asked me, where is my cocktail? So I'm asking him, where are you? Are you at the office or at home? He says, I'm at the office. So I told him, so it's at home, go home. He says, no, you know what, I'm home. So you know what, go back to the office, the cocktail is there. Anyway, I can promise you that next year, you come over here and there's going to be a cocktail and it's going to be an amazing show as we like doing. I will jump to Yael, back to Israel. Yael, you are, and let me a little bit, we call it Chanukah in Hebrew. Let me say a few good things. We are neighbors, but you are what the sports industry actually need. An athlete, tech-oriented, innovative, with a vision to advance, change, and create impact. On the other way around, this is going to be tricky, yeah? Why, on your opinion, we don't see yet proactiveness by top sports organizations towards innovation? Why do we still see them, saying, it's not the most important thing, we don't have the budget, we don't know how to, and so on? Why don't we see, especially in these times, which we see some growth, but more proactiveness towards innovation, technology adoption? Where is the challenge there? You are muted, Yael. That's a good way to get out of my question.
Yeah. Sorry. So it's my dog that is going around here, and see him
so
now?
cute.
It's part of the panel.
So I need yeah. So I think it's a bit tricky because everything I will say might be against all of us. So I think it's about leadership. And it's about also being early adapters. I think that being here in Israel, we are a nation that has a lot of high-tech startups and in the army and outside, and everybody are talking about it. But still, I think in sport, we are late adapters. I think maybe one of the reasons is the leadership in sport that is not very tech-oriented, and takes time, we can say Israel is a small country and budget, but I think we were not oriented enough. Lately, as you know, 2-3 years ago, we started to work together with in Haifa, the Technion, and we started to actually support innovations. And I think it's not about money, it's not about budget, it's really about attention, it's really about management. And once we start thinking about it, we brought Muli Epstein, is the scientific manager for the Olympic Committee. And once the Olympic Committee in Israel start to be oriented, I think the other organization will start also. And we are long distance. It's not, it doesn't happen in one day, but I think once we start with the support of all our stakeholders, I think we will, in few years, it will be important part in our initiatives and in our efforts to bring more medals. Today, Israel is able to bring to win two medals in Olympic Games mostly. I believe that with innovations and with the high tech involved, I believe, and of course hard work and many other things, I believe it can help us to break through and win more medals in many other sports. And we say that once we start, and we let our coaches and team supporters to be involved. They see that, maybe they put the ego aside. They see that it's possible. They see that it can help them. And we have to be, as you said, proactive in order to bring the change. And I believe it's a kind of component that can support very much. It's not instead of hard training, it's not instead of investing a lot of effort and money in the process of raising the athletes, but it's an important part that can bring us to success. And as we all know, finally, when you stand there in the semifinal, in the final, and you need just a little bit more in order to win. You just need to be a little bit better. And when you have all these parts, I think it can make the difference, and we will be there.
Amazing. It brings me back to your quote. It's in Wikipedia. Yael, I have to read it. 4 minutes were all that stood between myself and my life dream. When the match started, the semifinals, I was there with all my battle gear, and suddenly it was all over. I had won. It's connecting it very nice to what you've said. So, Mauricio, technology helps injury prevention, injury recovery, and so on. Do you think that there is an age for fighters? Recently, we've seen and we've been exposed to the phenomenal boxing fighters like Mike Tyson. What do you think about that?
Well, it's a very complicated topic because boxing is not a game. You do not play boxing. You can play basketball, you can play football, you can play many sports, but boxing is not a game. You're talking about contact. So for Mike Tyson to do the exhibition with Roy Jones a couple of weeks ago, he required thorough medical examinations, thorough anti-doping testing, and a very strong protocol with the Boxing Commission. So to think that a boxer can fight competitively, there is certainly the age risk factor, and any fighter over 40 years old has to comply with additional very strict testing, specifically neurological testing. So to see Mike Tyson, the way he did with Roy Jones was exciting, but they understood perfectly it was an exhibition, and we were all very happy to see the end result. So to answer your question, to think that Mike Tyson and Holyfield will enter a ring and fight each other, it's a lot of people would love to see that, but there has to be extreme consideration on all what I have said before.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Ronit, the stage is yours. I would like to lead it to Hannah.
Absolutely. I just want to mention, Ricardo, that Nate Robinson as well, the NBA player, really proved us that it's not enough to, although I really enjoy to see the fight. Well, Hannah, I want to go to the book you just wrote to our audience. Hannah wrote an 8-week guided book, and each week has a different focus and included the exercises that are challenging, and means that you have to decide which exercise you're going to do today, and decide where you're going to go and how do you want to develop your plan, and to pick up your team and just recover, and then keep it going, and to focus and all this kind of gratitude and affirmation. And I want to ask you, Hannah, 2 questions about this. One is, can you really describe us what was one of the, let's say, most effective or most important event that affected you while writing the book? And second one is the fact that you are actually a woman in a very dominant position, but in a male-dominated industry, comes to any aspect in this book?
Sure. I do think being a woman in a male-dominated industry is part of probably what inspired me to write it. Because like many of us in sports, I tend to root for the underdog. I think that whenever sort of the non-dominant group, we are an underdog. And a lot of us really relish that role too. It's a great challenge, right? To be counted out. It makes the game on some level more fun. And then secondly, I think that people may assume that American football's lessons or experiences are not broadly applicable to everyone's lives, but they really are. And I think being a woman in football has certainly demonstrated to me that so many of the life lessons that I've learned are actually learned through football. Whether that is where we start self-scouting, knowing ourselves first, because really to lead anyone else, we need to be able to lead ourselves first. Then creating vision then a game plan for how to execute it, putting together the team of people around you who will help you execute that game plan, reading your clips, right? We're all taking in incoming information all the time that we have to analyze, making adjustments, because game plans never go the way that you intend them to. So you have to be ready to make those adjustments. Recovery, which I think a lot of us have touched on it in a little bit of different ways throughout, which applies in every sport, right? You don't lift every single day. You have to have recovery, and you have to do that in your normal life as well. And then lastly, practice, so that you can put everything that you learn here into practice in the long term in your career and in your life. And in terms of what affected the writing, I think, ironically, I wrote the book before the pandemic, but it happened to come out during the pandemic last month. And it's funny because everything is almost even more applicable now, because I think a lot of us are taking more time to reflect on the nature of our careers, our lives, everything around us. And we also have more time, frankly, in certain ways. We have all been faced with a number of challenges in our business, especially in the sports industry. Probably you don't have a commute anymore, or you have some other, nature in which you have maybe 10 minutes a day to spend reflecting on what's going on in your own life and where you want to go from here. And especially now that we're hitting, I think, the end of one year and the beginning of another, it's a great time for that.
So Ricardo, to connect the dots, I know that Hannah does a lot of things around innovation, technology. The 49ers are leading a lot of activities around tech adoption. So you've led in your past activities, big organization, big activities. Now, we always say, and I meet a lot of people that are kind of sports leaders, and they deal with a lot of money, transaction, marketing, commercialization. And then to talk with them about technology, it feels like a little bit of a lot. And they say, wow, such a long, intensive work till we see something that comes out of it, story of my life. Why did you decide to tap into this innovation, sports innovation world? Following my question that I've asked Yael earlier, and to tell the truth that the Israel Olympic Committee is part of the STN for the last 2 years, always supportive. Gili, the CEO, Muli, the chief scientist. But what, from your point of view and your experience, led you to choose to say in a proactive way, I would like to be part of Arena, I would like to lead innovation, and Arena is a sports tech innovation group in Brazil, part of our partnership around the world. So Ricardo, what made you make this decision to be the chair of Arena?
Thanks. I have no other option to sports. It's my opinion. My background, I'm graduated also in computer science in the past. I worked as computer analysis, and then system analysis. And I'm very happy to join the efforts on this because we have no other way to solve the issues of the sports. That's my dream. And I'm here joining Arena Hub because of this. I joined this fantastic initiative. Through the Arena Hub, we develop terms of innovation in the sports industry. It's easy to understand, aiming to develop solutions and technologies for the challenge of the industry. That's so important. I worked in several institutions, several sport institutions, and I know that we have a lot of pains, a lot of problems that we could solve only through the innovation and technology. That's the opportunity to join the startups, to join the sponsors, to join the sports institutions in one way, in only one place, digitally and physically. It's inside the Allianz Parque Arena in São Paulo. It's a huge space there that we are joining the people there. And this ecosystem is very important. We are living technology. We are living this. That's so important. We have several teams: fun engagement, fun behavior, better experience for fans, cross-selling, upselling human performance, improving the effectiveness of training and rehearsals, anticipating health problems, neuroscience, focusing on the performance of athletes. Just to say some important things that all the sports here in Brazil and around the world, we must have the solutions to help the sport, help them to grow. And you have Pixelot as for example, as a partner, and they are partners of Arena Hub. Also, we have solutions here with them to make streaming only with one camera in the handball. This 2 weeks ago, we held a test with them for a kind of bubble of handball sports competition here in São Paulo, and it's a solution. It's impossible to live without technology. That's my opinion. That's why I am a guy of operation. Of course, I worked several times in operation, but I love sports. I was a handball player of the Brazilian national team. I played several times in the national team. I love sports, but I love the way that we could grow. It's through technology. That's my idea. That's why I'm joining Arena Hub. Arena Hub is a strong initiative here. I'm very happy to be part of this.
Amazing, Ricardo. Actually excited me, and I'm very happy to hear that a lot of people, sports leaders, are jumping into the sports tech arena. If I will take with my partner to this session, Ronit, and ask you guys to share with us 1 minute your summary and your forecast with a very optimistic vision to 2021. And I will start with Mauricio. Mauricio, 60 seconds about how you see 2021. How do you see the adoption of technology, maybe in the World Boxing Council, and our post-corona back to sport life? Yeah.
Well, we have been challenged. The best has come out of all of us. We have to cherish what we have. We have to be grateful for what we have to protect ourselves. Nobody can protect you, only you. Wear the mask, stay the distance, keep healthy life, exercise, eat healthy. Just be careful and move with a positive mental state of mind, understanding that what we do has to influence many others, and be positive, and we will be successful. Life will continue to be great, and we have to learn from this horrible experience and just move forward. And technology has been what has saved humanity at this time. Without the technology, there would not be the meetings, even the staying home and using the technology to be entertained. So I'm very thankful for having had this opportunity. I wish you great closing of the year, and I'm sure sports will make the difference for all of us.
Amazing, Mauricio. Thank you for this motivation pitch. Actually, I used to hear Al Pacino to get motivation. Forget about Al Pacino, Mauricio from this day. It takes something to be a boxer. Yael, please. You are muted, Yael.
Games.
Yeah, please. No. Now it's okay. Now it's
No,
okay.
I'm not. No, I'm not. So I think the light for us, the Olympians for 2021, and I think for many people around the world, is the Olympic Games. I think that to construct this kind of event, the biggest event in the world, excuse me, my friends, for football, soccer, but the Olympic Games, 206 nations all around the world, to come to one city, Tokyo, in 23rd of July 2021. This is the most optimistic thing that I can think about. And this event, with the leadership of Mr. Thomas Bach, the president of the IOC, this is a huge event that we need all the technology and all the knowledge and all the abilities in order to bring it to life for the 11,000 athletes from all around the world, and for the, I think, around 4.5 billion people that will be the spectators, whether if they will come to Tokyo, whether if they will be in their homes. And for us, I think when the Olympic Games will start, will be launched, it will be amazing, optimistic, and for those athletes that are waiting for their dreams to come true, I think this is a big thing, and we're waiting and looking forward.
Amazing. Well said. Thank you, Yael. Hannah.
Yes, I think that
Just regarding the ball on the back, what's that? Share with us.
Oh, that's a game ball. So in football, they give away a game ball as sort of a ceremonial way of sort of awarding you. And that was when we were building Levi's Stadium and we hit $500 million in sales. So that was what that was. A good memory for sure.
Not bad. I will dedicate 2 balls for that, for sure.
Yes, waiting on that part. And when I look at 2021, I think about how technology is a part of science as a whole, and how that's really going to be that and our humanity and caring about each other in combination will be what gets us through this. So science is, a vaccine. It is temperature screening. It's actually even a mask, right? That is technology. It's very simple technology, but it's technology that humans have created. And so I think as long as we use that with the mindset to help each other, that will not only bring sports back, but sports can play a role in making all of that happen. And I don't know about in other countries around the world, but certainly in the United States, one of the challenges that we'll have in 2021 is there is a significant anti-vaxxer, anti-vaccination movement in the United States. And that's for a number of historical reasons, but I do think we'll have an important role to play in making sure that there are facts out there and not disinformation, because it will be important that a large swath of the population, if not all the population, gets vaccinated in order for us to bring back spectator sports around the world.
Thank you, Hannah. Well said. Last but not least, Ricardo.
Thanks, my friends, to have this opportunity to be here with you. I'm very happy. I will repeat, there's no other way out of the sport without technology. We need technology. That's the most important thing. The challenge, of course, is to have money to support these initiatives like ours here. Today we are voluntary. We have no sponsors we have more than 30 institutions with us and more than 25 startups. And we are starting to have 40 at the end of this month. That's so important. It's a new era for the sports. I believe on this. Of course, 2021 will be very, very important. Strict protocols are needed. We need to take care of COVID here in Brazil or all around the world, of course. Good end of the year for you. We are very happy to say to you about technology and to say that the world is changing. The way that we are doing the things, the way that we are meeting, the way that we are working, that's so important to analyze. And we are doing this. Through technology, everything will be possible. Of course, with also our personal touch in all of the things that we need. The Brazilians has this feeling of to approach the people and so on. That's our feeling here. But we understand the power of technology, and we believe that it will be our way out to have this crisis on the past. Let's believe on 2021 Olympic Games. It will be nice. 2022 World Cup. It will be nice. I'm very, very comfortable to say this to you. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Amazing, Ricardo. As my friend Marcus Vicente, that also played handball with you, he taught me how to say good guy. We say mensch in Hebrew. They say in Portuguese, they say gente boa, yeah? Gente boa. So Ricardo, for sure, gente boa. A very good guy. Thank you all for joining. Before we will jump back to Josh that is waiting for us in Chicago. Josh is a great reporter for the WGN, supported us from Chicago. So thank you for that, Josh. I don't know if you hear us. I would like to thank our first session panelists. First of all, to thank my partner, Ronit, running with me all the year to support sports, the companies. Mauricio from Mexico, thank you very much. Yael, keep on fighting and developing. Thank you very much. Hannah, happy to have you with us. For the next 500 million to come, I will for sure join you on the process. And Ricardo, thank you for sharing the insights. Before we'll jump, that's a break. We are not finishing, but I will wish happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas to you. And Josh, are you with us?
I'm with you. I got you, Oren. Thanks for the amazing, tremendous discussion. It's a wide variety of points of view, and I love the look ahead, the positive look ahead to better things in 2021.